Firstly, huge apologies on the delay. Just getting everyone together took us a while. It's actually an exceptional day for all of us for various reasons. This film marks so many firsts and so many associations. Nepotism with that, but I say that it's to do with the love that a family can bring to cinema, which is what the thought really comes from. Today, when I speak of love and I talk about friendship, I talk about my own. I'm a result of my relationships in this industry. I started off with two men who actually gave me the strength to enter this industry. Aditya Chopra, who provided the platform, and Shah Rukh Khan, who gave me every reason to be a filmmaker. After that, in the last over nearly 20 years, we've gone on to create 10 pieces of work together. And each one has been special in so many different ways. Shah Rukh and I are not only best friends and family, but we're also collaborators who brought and tried to bring the essence of cinema to all of you in so many different ways and genres. Some mainstream family films, some iconic, intense experiences like Dear Zindagi, and for the first time we come together for a whodunit thriller, Ittefaq. It is my honor, it is my pleasure, and it is my privilege to work with the man, to know the man, to constantly interact with him, none other than the heartbeat of our industry, Shah Rukh Khan. Should we sit down or you want to stand?
We have to sit down?
Yeah. Shah Rukh, welcome to your own film. And I have to say that when I was doing... अरे दे देंगे यार फोटो प्लीज भगवान के लिए बात करने दो ना मैं टॉक शो होस्ट हूँ मैं ही बात करना चाहता हूँ यही मेरा काम है नमस्कार स्वागत है आपका इस मंच पे तो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि this when I was doing the math then I realized this is the 10th film that we've collaborated on. It's been quite a journey and I feel before we get into Ittefaq I feel the one thing that you and I have always combated or at least dealt with is the fact that we constantly have to prove our intense love and family love for each other. Why do you think that is?
First of all, I'd just like to thank Karan and the whole team, which has got me here. And of course, Karan Johar and before him, his father, Mr. Yash Johar, who actually treated me like a family when I came here and gave me opportunities to work with them. I worked with Yash ji on Duplicate. And then our long association started with Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. And since then, yes, I have also seen different shades of love that have been connotated to me and Karan, from a friend to a brother and on even higher levels. And then situations where we supposedly have fought. You know, in life, I believe that there are some relationships which don't need to be substantiated every time, to be explained every time. It irritates me, as a matter of fact, to keep on explaining to people that I love Karan, I love Hiru Auntie, I love his two new little babies very, very much, and they're so pretty, mashallah. And our relationship every time, if he's doing a film which is not with me, if I'm doing something which is with someone that Karan doesn't get along with, and there are lots of people at different times that Karan doesn't get along with, and then starts getting along with them, and then... So, because I'm a little outside of what happens around the world, so I can't keep tabs of his good times with who and bad times with who, and fortunately, unfortunately, I go on to be working with someone he must be hating at that point in time, and then I'm like, but it doesn't ever, ever, ever come in between the relationship we have shared. So if this, perhaps a little inappropriate place to say it, but once and for all, I've never had a problem with Karan Johar. I love him unconditionally. and so does he. We are like family, and inshallah we'll grow old together, and we'll be here at 107 on wheelchairs, launching new films, working together. May not be working together as director actors, but there'll always be this camaraderie, brotherhood. And I know one thing for a fact, that if ever, khuda na khasta, Karan is in trouble, I'll be the first guy to come and stand in front of him. If he's lost a lot of weight, then behind him, because then he'll be agile and cool and maybe able to protect me. We're always there for each other. So I don't know why people keep talking that. But now with so many people talking so many things, I think best is just to keep quiet and move on and make the films and do the work that we do.
Because it's amazing that, you know, when we go through this kind of a journey, yet you have to constantly encounter these questions. But it's, I think, in the past, and I think our work speaks for itself, and the love comes through in any case. Ittefaq is a special film on so many levels, like I said right at the beginning. And I think you were one of the first people, and I think Renu Auntie will endorse that, who showed that, you know, that strength and support to the material. You know, it came your way, and then eventually all of us kind of decided to produce this film. What was your core instinct when you first read the material that made you want to support it?
There are two, three things, and I'd say that now. One, of course, I've known Junu and Abhay since they were babies. They used to assist Karan. Junu used to. And Renu Auntie I've known for years, and Ravi sir. And I don't know, I'm not very socially good. I don't know how to keep on, how do you say, nurture relationships. But I feel for people for some reason. And that's not the big thing, that I feel for people for some reason. The big thing is that those people feel a lot for me, and I can sense that. So I've always felt Renu Auntie, for some reason, just loves me. And the two kids, I've seen them grow up. And, you know, when one of them decided to direct a film, I think apart from the legacy and the fact that they are from films and they want to do this stuff, I thought it was an amazing script. I normally don't have too much sense of script, as Karan would tell you. Karan narrated some other film to me called Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and it ended up being some other film. Kal Ho Na Ho, I didn't even hear the script. And he knows I have no sense of scripting and screenplay, and that could be an amazing headline. Shah Rukh has no sense of screenplay, that's why he makes such awful films. But I'm going to try and say things which don't get me in any kind of headline tonight.
It's a bit difficult, no matter what you say. It's
so
okay.
When I read the script, to be honest, I wanted to be a part of it as an actor. It was so exciting. And I think a better actor than me has essayed that role now, which is Akshay, and more befitting for the film. Unfortunately, at that time, I had decided to do 3 films, so I couldn't become part of it. I was doing Rais and Fan, and they were physically very hectic. I just loved the way the film had been adapted, turned around, changed a bit, and the product, inshallah, when it comes out, everybody will enjoy it. Apart from that, I remember Yash ji, a few days before he passed away, Mr. Yash Chopra, he told me the story how he made Ittefaq. And that's an amazing story. He was making some film, and there was a break in some film, and they went to see this play, and overnight they all decided to make this film for the B.R. Chopra production. And when I was growing up, it was my mother's favorite film, Ittefaq. And Mr. Rajesh Khanna's first film, maybe, I don't know, or maybe the second, or it was a newcomer that time. And Nanda ji, who nobody could expect anyone else to be but a sister. Okay, sisterly and loving and sweet. And the way that, it's very theatrical. It's based on a play, so maybe so. And I found it very, very interesting. And in a country where we don't make too many thrillers, you know, to come across a script which young boys are adapting from a classic, if I may say so, and, you know, and bring it to fore, it was extremely exciting. And to Karan's credit, I'm a little lethargic about taking films and getting them cast. But Karan is really good with it. He sees the right people in the right roles. I think that's one of his biggest strengths as a director and a producer. So when he decided on Akshay and Siddharth and Sonakshi, I thought it was really a fantastic combination. So thank you very much for genuinely making one of my favorite films more relevant for the times today. Because some films, like, you know, I've done Devdas, which would never be better than the classic. Dawn, one has attempted, which would never be better than Bachchan Saab's. But somewhere down the line, just to reintroduce the great cinema that perhaps passes the youngsters by. So Ittefaq is another move in that line, and hopefully the youngsters will really like it.
No, totally, and I think that's why we've had, like, up to this point, we've tried to protect the material of the film. We've tried to, like, which is an internal decision. That
I am the murderer in the film, so just in case.
Oh, yeah, he killed the film.
I do come in the end, wearing a singlet. We have a rehashed version of इस काल काल पे हम तुम करें धमाल.
That's all we need.
And that's it.
That's
And
all
then
we need
I'm
to
the
make
murderer,
this
yeah.
film a memorable experience at the end of it all. No, so what we did is we actually protected the film for its in terms of like not revealing much, which is why we took this stand of not going out there and promoting it with the actors and leaving them on their own, because you never know what
And
they'll
those
end up
actors who are speaking a lot in backstage right
saying.
now.
Yes, right now. Shh. Yeah, those very actors, because I think they both were just speaking, all of them were speaking, they would felt so strange that they haven't been promoting this film. None of them have been out, so it's almost like they're feeling guilty that they have not done enough. So they've been hanging with each other for the last week because they've not been traveling cities, dancing in malls, being in reality shows. It's almost like they feel they haven't done enough. And we had always planned that we'd do this one conference 4 or 5 days ago, and of course bring Shah Rukh into the forefront, protect you as much as we can. And now that you've announced you're the killer, we haven't really done a great job of protecting you. The film opens with a thank you card to Shah Rukh Khan and Ranbir Kapoor. So either of them could have been the killer, because everybody at interval point was like, is Ranbir Kapoor the murderer? I'm like, but he's not in the film. So how will he be the murderer? But anyway, it's I think a great, I mean, we're 3 producers on this, which is rare for a film of this scale, but it's more the affection and emotion that brings us together and not just the content of the film. And the fact that we're all here like a strong unit really speaks volumes about the love we feel for the people making it and the ones who have. Without, of course, any further delay, both Shah Rukh and I really want to introduce you to the 2 boys who actually have helmed Ittefaq. I know what it feels like to be a debut director. It's nerve-wracking. It's also exceptionally scary to actually remake your own family lineage film, because you can always run the risk of comparison, but yet he took it heads on. He's somebody who's been in the zone of filmmaking for so many years, but this is his first piece of work. Always very introverted, always likes to take a back step, but he's standing next to us, and there's no point he has to be in the foreground now, because we're those kind of boys, men. So please welcome the director of Ittefaq, Abhay Chopra, which I will tell you what his pet name is once he comes in. So I have to tell you, like most faithful Punjabi boys, he has a pet name. And invariably we name our children that make us sound like pets and not people. But that's just part of the love that Punjabis have in their family. So his name is Boo. It's not Abhay. Nobody calls him Abhay. Just for me to nationally announce his pet name, it's Boo. And now I want to introduce you to Junnu, who is the creative producer of the film. His name is Kapil Chopra, very carefully selected by his loving mother and father. These are the names, Junnu and Boo. And it's very difficult when you have to call out to both of them, because you'll end up making a combination of the 2 names. So firstly, before we ask you about your immense talent and the reason you made this, how do you react to these names? Junnu.
Do you hold it against your parents?
Always, always. But I love the name, and I think it has naam sabko yaad rahega. So for me, that works superbly well.
Junnu, I understand, but to have a name after a scare.
That's why I never say it publicly.
You never say it publicly. That is Boo.
No, it was Abhay.
What is the origin of this name? Where did it come from? Why are you called Boo?
I have no idea. So ask mom that.
But I want to know, when you introduce yourself to girls at a party, how do you say, hi, I'm Boo?
And how does that work out eventually?
Not going anywhere. So that's the thrill of Ittefaq. Boo is the thrill of Ittefaq.
Boo is the thrill of Ittefaq. So Boo, your decision very quickly to have made this film, what was that? Was it always because as a child growing up, this was one of the films that you really enjoyed watching of the family films that were made?
Yeah, I think so. I think for me it was, I loved it growing up. I think I always found it ahead of its time. And I think it's, I mean, for me, this is my homage to it. That's it. It's not, I'm not remaking it. The original is there.
Yeah.
People can go back and watch it. This is just my version of it.
For all those who will go back and check about the original, the killer of the original, we shouldn't say anything, but is it the corresponding killer, someone else altogether? What is the status of that? Because everybody knows what happened at the end of the 1969 Ittefaq.
I think just let them wait till 3rd of November.
Feb they should not wait for. It would be nice if they wait till the 3rd
first
of
time
November. Feb they might have to see something else. Especially with release dates changing. God knows what's coming in Feb now. But I'm saying that it's quite exciting that you chose to adapt it. And Shah Rukh just said that it was his favorite film. And did you, when you read the script, were you surprised with the end?
I'd be very honest. The film is out in a few days, and I think the one thing perhaps has been wrongly essayed is it's not really a remake. I think it's quite an original film. How do you say it? Premise in India. What do they say? Premise. So the premise might be similar. The takeoff point might be similar.
Sorry, Anisha Beg corrects me. It's premise.
It's premise.
Sorry.
Okay. Premise or the premise of this film is perhaps is similar to the 1969 Ittefaq, but when I read the script, it had taken flight of its own. It's very different, and I think a few characters that have been added into this film, which were not present in the theatrical version or the theater version of the original, actually really add a lot to it. So I found that very exciting, that the premise is the same, but Boo has made the premise a little more.
Boo and Juno have dutifully kind of done this. Juno, you had a success with Bareli Ki Barfi, and this is the second offering from BR Films, and I hope it works out really well. So you'll have ended the year from a thriller whodunit to a love story. A great gamut to cover in the same year.
I hope so, and I mean, we are just out here to make films, and like Shah Rukh had told me once, bas aap picture banao, and I will back you, and I've always told him if I have him and Karan by my side, I don't need anyone else. So I hope we don't disappoint you all, and I hope we can keep making films and get our legacy up there where it was.
That's lovely, and I'm sure it will, because what a tremendous legacy. Like I said, one of the foremost studios of our country, and the one that truly believed in story. In fact, just as I said, the only studio that at that point of time, which is given today, had a story development team, which never happened ever in the 60s. It used to be the legacy of BR Films. We have to introduce you now to, of course, the big part of our evening is not the three actors, but the three suspects of Ittefaq. So please welcome all three of them. Different ways they got cast at different junctures of the film. Siddharth Malhotra was actually cast very first, I think, because it was who Boo wanted right at the top. And then after that, it was very amazing how Sonakshi and Akshay just fit so perfectly into the films. So let's begin by calling Siddharth Malhotra, who helms the cast of Ittefaq. Yeah. To Sonakshi Sinha, and when she comes on stage, we'll tell you about exciting trivia and her attachment to BR Films. Sonakshi Sinha, ladies and gentlemen. And Akshay Khanna, one of our suspects again. Akshay Khanna, ladies and gentlemen. Interestingly, Sonakshi told us something interesting, that her father was offered Ittefaq, and he could at the original, and he couldn't do it, and at that juncture it wasn't possible, and therefore then the cast changed. And then also her mother did one of her first shooting days of her career with BR Films. So it's amazing how it's a full circle, and how she's in Ittefaq today with the given circumstances.
Yeah, and my parents actually went and saw the film at that time. Yeah. So Ittefaq. So it is a full circle.
And my dad did Ravi sir's first film, and I'm doing Boo's first film.
Great. So we have at the two ends of our panel, we have two non-nepotistic people, and the remaining in the center are brand ambassadors of nepotism. Siddharth Malhotra and Shah Rukh Khan do not represent nepotism, which also speaks volumes about how both can work equally, efficiently, and correctly, right or not? All right. So normally I would have made everyone sit down, but I think this is working out so well that we're in a semicircle. So I'm going to just start. Sid, this film has been, of course, exciting for you for various reasons, and everyone's talking about who the killer is eventually. Our polls today, we did across the media polls. We did with the media, which is members. Thank you so much for voting, all of you, as well as online and television and radio. And the results are quite interesting. Actually, I know them by heart, but I will actually still tell you. The result is quite exciting. It's 31% of the base thinks Sonakshi is the murderer, 18% think Sid is, 28% say Akshay Khanna, and 23% think someone else. Yes. Is it you?
Is it you?
I've murdered a lot of things, but films, I don't know. So, Sid, what do you have to feel about people who think that you have such an innocent face?
Oh, I think that's for them to judge on this Friday, on the 3rd. And yeah, I think I just want to say I'm really excited to be a part of a murder mystery. I think we don't make enough of them. And for me, this is my first time being accused of murder. And it's been lovely. I think he's extremely talented. I met him years ago, oddly for the same film, and then for some reason never happened. And I think I was meant to be a part of this film, that it happened this time, and it's coming out this Friday. And I hope also for his first film that I think he's worked really hard and he's made a fabulous film, that it works for all of us. And yeah, we'll find out on 3rd now कि ये poll सच है कि झूठ है, or who won. And is there somebody winning who gets
18,
it?
No, well, if they just get our intense love if they go to the theatres on Friday.
Okay, so thank you guys.
18%
Yeah, we will,
think
yeah.
you're innocent, but does that apply to your personal life as well?
On what am I being charged for in my personal
You
life?
tell me.
For what? No murders in my personal life, only.
No? What?
Yeah.
Any accusations?
No, no.
Is there an interrogation?
A lot of ladies have
once
killed me
and
with
for
their
all,
looks,
They
nothing
can
else.
feel you with their looks.
Killed me
Oh,
with
kill
their
you.
looks.
What is your status? We must tell everyone really wants
What-
to know
about
because there's
what
so much
status?
speculation. Are you single?
I am single.
All right. So that means you won before. There's some shattering
single. Nobody else
noise
asked me
that
for it.
happened. I think
क्या
somebody
हुआ है?
broke her
ए, संभाल के,
bangles.
संभाल के. हाँ.
Who is
But
there?
you-
I wonder who that is backstage. Yeah. किसने अपने तोड़े हैं? नहीं, somebody has said. ठीक है, single है तो अच्छा है, it's okay. It opens various doors and these days windows as well. We won't ask you all because we'll ask you after next film because then it'll matter. What about your status? Should we ask you?
Why do you want to know my status? Firstly, I am very upset. I have been the quintessential good girl of Hindi cinema, and your 31% people think I have done it.
Because maybe what you're projecting is not what is.
Maybe.
So are you a seductress or an adulteress in the film?
Well, they're both.
No, they're
similar.
different
She has
things
two
altogether.
sides to her.
Okay. Well, there's two sides to me, and I think that is what attracted me to do this film, to be able to play one role in two different ways, and which was most exciting, and to be directed by Boo. I think I must say that when you watch the film, you will not ever think once that this is a first-time director's work. He's done such a fantastic job, and he goes down in the list of my favorite directors. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. And I know that Sonakshi's done an immensely wonderful job, and we can't wait for everyone to see your work on Friday. Akshay Khanna, truly one of my favorite actors, and we see so little of you all
But
the
you
time.
never work with me.
Yeah, I have with this time. Listen,